Come close. Yes, you. Sit with me under the old fig tree. Because today, I want to tell you a story. Not the kind that floats in fairy dust, but one that walks through dust, through fear, through loneliness, and somehow still finds God waiting on the other side. This is the story of Hagar, the woman who learned the hard way that God sees, really sees. Hagar wasn't born into the spotlight. She wasn't a queen or prophetess or anyone special, at least not in the eyes of the world. She was a maid, an Egyptian servant girl in the house of Abraham and Sarah. She probably grew up hearing about gods with stone eyes and hard hearts. But in this house, the air was different. They prayed to a God who spoke, a God who made promises. Still, Hagar was just part of the background, until the day Sarah came to her with tired eyes and a desperate plan. "You will carry a child for me," Sarah said. And what could Hagar do? She didn't ask for this life. She didn't choose to be a substitute womb. But when you're powerless, silence often becomes survival. So Hagar obeyed. And the moment she became pregnant, things shifted. Suddenly, she wasn't invisible anymore, but neither was she safe. Sarah, who once commanded her, now resented her. Anger, jealousy, silent wars in hallways. It became unbearable. So Hagar ran into the wilderness, pregnant, alone, terrified, no food, no plan, just the raw ache of rejection pulsing in her chest. And maybe you've been there too, running, not from a desert, but from shame, from people who used you, from voices that told you you're not enough. You ran because staying was slowly killing you. Hagar's tears mixed with desert sand. She was not praying. She didn't know how to. She was just surviving. But then, the impossible happened. An angel found her, right there in the wilderness. Not at the altar, not in a temple, in her escape, in her lowest place. "Hagar, servant of Sarai," the angel said, "where have you come from, and where are you going?" Can we pause there? Because that's not just a question. It's a divine intervention. God wasn't accusing her. He was inviting her to speak her truth. She answered, "I'm running away." And the angel, so gently, so firmly, said something hard. "Go back. Submit." But then, a promise. "You will have a son. Name him Ishmael. God hears, because the Lord has heard of your misery." And that's when it hit her. This God sees. This God hears. This God knows. She cried and said, "You are the God who sees me." The first human in the Bible to give God a name. Hagar went back. Not because the pain was gone, but because she now carried something more powerful than pain. Promise. She carried Ishmael, yes. But more than that, she carried the evidence that even in the wilderness, God doesn't lose track of his own. Sometimes God doesn't deliver us from the hard places. He gives us the strength to walk through them. Fast forward. Ishmael is older now. But the rejection comes again. This time from Sarah, who tells Abraham, "Send that woman and her son away." So Hagar is cast out. Again, this time with her boy. A small skin of water, a loaf of bread. That's it. When the water ran out, she laid her son under a bush. She walked a distance away and wept, because no mother wants to watch her child die. But heaven heard. Again. An angel called to her from heaven. "What's the matter, Hagar?" "Don't be afraid. God has heard the boy crying." And then her eyes were opened, and she saw a well. God didn't put the well there in that moment. It had always been there. She just couldn't see it. Until heaven opened her eyes. Maybe you're in a wilderness now. You've cried, you've prayed, you've felt like no one sees, you're barely hanging on. Maybe you're in a wilderness now. You've cried, you've prayed, you've felt like no one sees. You're barely hanging on. But what if I told you there's already a well, already provision, already a rescue, waiting to be revealed? Sometimes it doesn't come in lightning and thunder. It comes in the whisper, I see you. The Bible says Ishmael grew up in the wilderness, strong, resilient, a survivor. And maybe your story feels wild, uneven, full of wrong turns. But remember Ishmael, he wasn't born in favor, but he was born in the hearing of God. And you? You may not be the main character to others, but to God, you are seen, you are heard, you are found. So today I want you to remember Hagar, not just as the maid, or the runaway, or the weeping mother, but as the woman who dared to believe that God still shows up in deserts. And when the world asks, who are you to think God cares about you? Lift your chin. Tell them what Hagar told herself. I met a God who sees me. And that changed everything.